So first order of business, just so you guys know, Dark has been away due to work and him moving, and apparently in Australia it's hard to get internet. But he has assured us that come Monday he will be fully interneted, and he already has Star Wars Tour downloaded and ready to go. So fear not, he will be back. We like to congratulate all the new members here if this is your first meeting. They usually take about an hour or so. Pretty straightforward and right to the point. And again, if you missed any of those instructions, if you have a question, just PM it or open text with Zest and he will take care of you. We have a few promotions that are going to happen right off the bat here. Some members going to core members going to officers. I am bringing up the list right now, so give me 1 second. Okay, the following people are getting promoted from member to core member. And they are Lazy Tuga. Hold your applause to the end. Lazy Tuga, Judas, Resh, and Corvan, also known as X52. So congratulations to you guys. For those who are unsure about it,
holy shit, there's so many people here.
The core members are both a time and guild requirement and going above and beyond normal membership means, whether that means setting stuff up yourself, being extremely active on the forums, or providing substantial help to other members throughout any game or the forums. So good job to all you guys, you earned it. Your permissions on the forums will be Your permissions on the forums will be updated by the end of the weekend. So if they don't get updated by then, just send me a PM and I'll take care of you. Next is our promotions from core members to officers. We are going to be promoting Databio, Kane, and Zevron to officers. What this does is this gives us now improved leadership throughout the time, with Kane being Aussie East, Zevron moving back to Europe, and Databio being US West. All of these members have been core members and past leadership for some time now in Animosity, and they're all willing to give it another go or give it their first go, and congratulations to them. And then our final promotion, we are promoting Zest from officer to guild leader. Due to just some real life circumstances, we've had some guild leaders who needed just some time away, and to make sure that we provide you guys with everything that you deserve and that we need to, we are now promoting Zest. We will be having 4 guild leaders. Whether it stays at 4, goes back to 3, or improves to more, just depends upon what's going to best fit the guild. So congratulations to Zest, he's earned it. And then just a nice general reminder that even though most of you guys are in game, forum and TeamSpeak, I mean obviously if you're in game, you're in TeamSpeak, that's a big deal for us. But while in game you still need to maintain forum approval. A good 95% of you guys are doing that flawlessly. A few of you guys can pick it up a little bit, add tips and tricks and anything you find in the game that you want people to know about. Alright, so we were going to move on to TSW. Unfortunately, Red Star is not able to make it just yet. He might be a little late, but we'll see. So I'll get rolling on it. The Secret World is coming along pretty well. For those who are unsure about it, the Secret World, it's a Funcom game. And it's kind of like a sci-fi horror basis. Basically, all of the urban legends, if you will, of the world, they're bringing to a video game. It's ranging everywhere from zombies and monsters to just freak ghost towns and spiritual ideals like that. It's a open world, it's an open class game. There are no classes. It's all skill based. The more you use a skill, the better you get at it, and you can improve in a number of different ones. They have what's called a skill wheel, and you can go and look all that up. Right now, Red Star is doing a good job of keeping the division afloat. He's maintaining it. He's getting public presence. We've been in talks with 2 other guilds that are Dragon aligned, which is what we're going. And then we also, of course, have Midnight Squadron, who will be playing, as well as Templars. So even if we don't have the biggest division in the game, we are going to have a nice base of people to go ahead and play with. Once the game finally gives a launch date, recruitment should ramp up again as more people flock to the game to find out just how good it's going to be. If you have any questions about the Secret World, please go ahead and PM Zest right now, and he'll let me know. Do I have to buy the game in the pay per month? They have not released a subscription plan yet, French. So nobody knows. Chances are it will be a standard subscription plan. Anyone sending any questions, Zest?
Just one so far.
Alright, go ahead. What is it?
Infallible Fallacies. Are we setting up our own classes?
Infallible, you can go ahead and talk on here. What do you mean by that?
I have an idea what he means. It probably means, is the guild going to allocate, since it's such an open class-based system, is the guild going to allocate classes to people to better embody the Trinity class system?
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good. Okay, well, the first thing that's going to dictate that is people actually getting into the game and seeing just what all of these skills are about. If you go to like the wiki and you look it up, there are healing abilities in many of the different classes. Like I guess if you go range, there's a range class that can heal. If you go magic, there's magic class that can heal, and melee as well. And then the same thing goes for typical tanking and everything. And hang on a second, Red Star. So there's tanking. So what we'll see is how valid you can be by going your own path versus requiring people to do stuff. But in this guild, we rarely like to require people to do anything. We want you to have fun first and foremost. But of course, you know, we always have members willing to adapt to best help the guild progress. Red Star is here. He's unfortunately, like I said, he's been sick. So, Red, do you want to say something? You can type it to me if you don't want to. Okay, so I basically summed up everything that he was going to say. So we're all good. He has made it, thankfully. It's good to have you here, Red. Does anyone else have any other questions regarding TSW? Zest?
Nothing from anyone.
Alright, so we'll bring it right back down to Guild Wars 2 now. For those unaware and those who are newer members and weren't here, Gator Mag was heading up our Guild Wars division just due to, I think mostly to where the game was and what it's going to require out of leadership. He wanted to step down and just wait that out on the game and maybe just find something where he could be a regular member. With that being said, though, we're not going to give up on the division. We have a lot of time until it launches, and as thus, we have plenty of time to create a nice launch pad and find leadership to run the game. What I am going to do, and I'll repost this for those that unfortunately couldn't make the meeting, is I'm going to open up the opportunity for any current member to take over the Guild Wars officer position. Now, by doing so, you won't automatically become an officer in a guild. If you're interested, PM me, and I'll go over with you some requirements on what I want to see you accomplish. And if you accomplish those within a set period of time, I will go ahead and promote you to officer. But barring the fact that because of the fact that officer is a very esteemed position in this guild, and we don't like to just give it out freely. You are going to have to earn it. So if there's anyone interested in that, after the meeting, go ahead and send me a PM, and I'll make some time to talk it over with you. Are there any questions other than not liking the ping sound regarding Guild Wars? Desi?
You guys know when like the beta is or when it's actually coming out, release date wise?
They don't have a release date yet for TSW.
No, for Guild Wars. And is it you pay per month? What's the payment plan on that?
Same as the other one. You just buy the game and that's it, isn't it?
Okay.
Revolves around an expansion system.
Yeah, obviously because of the stage it's in development, there's no final decisions on any of that, but speculation and preliminary talks from the developers have said it's going to be exactly like Guild Wars was, a game you buy it and you play for free, and then they're going to make their money off of expansions, but they're also thinking they may be putting in a cash shop, seeing as the success that other games have had with that for cosmetic items. Infallible has asked if we're going to be attending competitive events for Guild Wars 2. we are a PvP guild at heart, even though we do like PvE, and that's just because the members in this guild like PvP. So if our members in Guild Wars 2 are all about being competitive and PvP, which is really what Guild Wars is all about, then by all means we're going to do everything possible to make sure we attend competitive events. But it's going to come down to the players we have and the skill that those players possess. If you have any questions, send them to Zest right now, and Zest, let me know. I'll give you guys 30 seconds. Okay, anything, Zest?
Nada.
Alrighty, so now we're going to move on to Star Wars Tour. Launch. Launch is pretty much officially done. By now, vast majority of all our members are 50. We still have a few that are a little behind, but they've all contacted me with special circumstances that we've allowed them to stay in the guild despite not reaching cap. Overall, I would say, given the fact that we've had seriously bad timing with 2 guild leaders and officers, we did really well with this launch. It may have taken us a little bit more time than we wanted to start going on the raids, but now that we're raiding, we got groups clearing hard modes, and even though we wanted to focus on PvP, it took us a little while, but we found 2 excellent PvP leaders, and they did a really good job pulling it all together, and they have a lot of plans for the future. From this point on, as far as recruitment goes, we're only taking 50s. So if anyone approaches any of the members and asks about recruitment, first thing you do is find out if they're 50, and if they are, send them to the website. You don't have to worry about sending them to an officer in game because everything's on the forums. If they do absolutely need to speak to an officer, by all means do, but everyone in this guild should know what we're about and should be able to explain to to any random that to get in this guild doesn't mean you're a good player. It means you're a good guildmate and a good person. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to let Databio talk about the PvE rating, and if he has any thoughts on it and how he's liking the progression of the guild.
Alright, well, for the PvE rating right now, we're actually doing pretty good. We got hard modes down, Kraga's 5 out of 5, and on EV, we're up to SOA. At this point, I feel that our primary core group that's been running the hard modes is, to tell you the truth, we're actually getting bored of a lot of the content. And I think I'm going to actually be pushing to slow down the hard modes a little bit and expanding the raid times for normal parties to get people to start getting into raiding for people that haven't seen it yet or have only a limited experience with Eternity Vault or with Karagas. So that way we can get more people into hard modes, because in reality a lot of our members, they're starting to get geared with PvP and everything, but hard modes are very demanding in the type of gear you need and your player skill, because they pretty much cap it out with an enrage timer, and if you don't have enough gear or if you don't know your cycles right, you won't complete it. So unless you guys, I mean, the reason for me running the normal modes is so many of us can learn the strategy and learn how to do it, so by the time you do hit the hard modes, it will be very instinctual, a lot of the strategies that we use. And over the past couple months since launch, Judas and I have been working on some very easy strategies that's very easy to understand and execute, so success rates will definitely go up. Aside from that, though, yeah, definitely look forward to more normal mode rating to go out, and even just a whole bunch of people being able to get on raids and eventually being able to feel the 16-man raid.
All right, thank you, Databio.
Sorry,
like he
what?
said.
Did
Go ahead,
anyone
buddy.
else pick that up? The end of what he said. For other people to feel the 16-man raid. I'm sorry, that is just vulgar.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Databio. And like he said, we are striving and working to try to get 16 man raids going. We have the people, we have the levels for it. We just don't necessarily have all the people on at the same time, but eventually we will find a day when a 16-man really flourishes because we got 1650s on and ready to go.
Well, not only that too, but like for 16 man, it gets a lot more complicated because a lot more people are in there. So I'd ideally like everybody to at least run EV normal mode once before even attempting 16 man EV.
And that is understood. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Data Bio make a post that's going to get sticky with what he feels is either his own best strategies for each boss or a YouTube link to the strategies that he wants to use for each boss, so that every member who hasn't run it can watch it in one spot and know immediately what they need to do when they get their chance to go in and play.
Right, we were gonna actually perhaps some of our runs just so the members can see how we run things instead of trying to look up other YouTube videos on how other guilds run it. And personally, I think a lot more people, even though they may have the gear, were carried, and that we still need to work on just completing 8-man's normal so that people know the routine of the fight.
Yeah, I would like to make this raid a routine, so basically there's no more wipes and we're downing it first time, because the core group at this point, EV for the most part, all the way up to SOA, will get all the way there without wiping once.
Yeah, another thing I'd like to say, if you guys sign up for a normal raid, actually attend it, because we're not doing the normal raids for ourselves. We have the gear. Like, we want to help you guys out. But if you don't show up for the raids, then it's like, all the 4 members are really just running the raid themselves with like 2 people that are under geared, and that's just no good. We want to try to gear as many people as possible.
And that's a very valid point, and I haven't heard of it becoming that big of a problem yet, because we've had people being able to fill. But if Data Bio approaches me with anyone who has continually signed up for raid and has not been making them, we will take actions which can lead up to being removed from the guild. Because, I mean, all you're doing is you're letting down your fellow guildmates by telling them you're going to be there and then not showing up.
And not only that, filling a spot and not letting somebody else raid as well.
Right.
Exactly.
And the reason why we have signups every week now is so that, people can attend. It's not like the set groups, so, other people can, join in. It's kind of like the first come, first serve type deal. And we really want to get you in and get you geared, but,
yeah,
just
and
show up.
And I feel that route is a lot better. It is a lot more tedious, but everybody has a different schedule every week. Life hits you fast, so something you might not be able to play that week or 2 weeks later. So this way, we can guarantee that people that want to raid are going to be there at that time, and you're not going to be on a vacation or you don't have work or whatnot. So I feel this way is a better route instead of looking for people at the last minute, which is what I'm trying to avoid with the signups.
Right,
for those who read the post on the forum, there is going to be a PV rating award ribbon given out, and in order to achieve that, you need to have completed a hard mode with Animosity. It doesn't matter which one it is, and you need to have Data Bio's approval that you are actually useful on there and not just being drug along. He will go ahead and get me a list of all the people who he feels are worthy of that ribbon, and then we will go ahead and distribute that out. Are there any particular questions related to rating? If so, please send them to Zest right now, and he will immediately relay them.
Question.
Go ahead.
Corbin had a question. What about a possible night or 2 for setting up, running all of the different Flashpoint hard modes and/or world bosses?
Yeah, that's
as
definitely
far
arrangeable.
as the hard modes go, the gear there is not anything better than you can get in a standard EV. And
well, standard EV will wield you better than anything you can get in any hard mode. The thing about the hard modes is right now their loot tables is really, it's really just that they only have tiny stuff, and because it's 4-man, it's really the same difficulty. So I mean, if you're completing 4-mans, you should be able to like understand the strategy it is to take down the boss. It's just with more people, so things get a little more complicated always with more people.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
the
people get anxiety when they go into like a raid, 8-man raid, like, oh my god, this is like new content, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, just take a deep breath in and relax. Maybe, you know, once we get these videos up, it'll probably be easier because you'll be like, oh, okay, I saw this in a video. And
Yeah.
then it should be smooth sailing from there.
and being that these hard modes are just 4-man, you should be able to just find people to do it. And I really encourage you guys to set these up on your own. I mean, you shouldn't need someone to set up a 4-man dungeon. You should just ask who wants to do it, and then you guys need to talk with each other and find out when the best time is. It's kind of a waste of resources and time for Data Bio, who's worrying about setting up all these different raids for all these different days to go ahead and set up hard mode. But I do encourage any member to go ahead and take it upon yourself to do so.
Right,
And
also about the world bosses, like, it was just yesterday, we helped Skyrender get his 2 magenta crystals. We went and killed
Lucky bastard.
boss on Belsavis, and I had found out recently that, you know, the guy on Hoth, the world boss, also drops a schematic, and we were lucky enough to get the power and crit rating magenta crystals.
Okay, so as he said, the next thing we were going to say was answer his question about world bosses. And what we can do is, if there is something on there that people really want, get in contact with Data Bio, and or take it upon yourself to just go to the forums and say, you know, this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm, you know, going to take down this world boss. Who wants to come with me? And get signups and just go and do it. The world boss takes longer to find people and get there than it does to beat them. So, you know, once again, it's more of a waste of resources to, you know, have an officer specifically plan that when we don't even know who's going to show up and who really needs anything off of it. Any other questions asked?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
there's a
also
few.
add real quick.
Alright, go ahead, Dadabio.
Instead of doing hard modes, I think it's a better investment of time to do your dailies. And because the dailies wield enhancements and bonuses that you can add to your armor that are much better than anything that can be wielded from the hard modes. So I think that might be better out.
Hey,
And that
one
is
thing
good
on that,
advice.
guys, gotta
Definitely good
pipe in real
advice.
quick. Did they ever fix the dailies? Like, I know Ilum, half the quests are broken.
A few are,
I
but the
just
better
stopped
ones are
doing
on Belsavis.
Just a note, guys, on questions. Keep it related to the topic we're currently discussing. I got a few in there for other things, and we'll get to those.
Alright,
But
Zess, what's the next question?
Delrune had a question about when we were, or if we were, going to revise our front page as far as recruitment, to better reflect what we need for raid.
Right now it says that we need tanks and healers. As far as I heard, we did not have a problem finding DPS. What can happen though, this doesn't need to be discussed here, but if DataBio feels that for raids we need something particular, he can send me a PM over the forums and we will go ahead and make that a priority recruitment point as well. Next question.
Well, when will we be running Australian hard modes?
That is a good question. Like I said in the beginning, Dark will be back come Monday, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to help him out get to 50 real quick. Marms is also supposed to be back within the next week or two. So that gives us another 2 players that should be readily and able. And then along with those Aussies, we have people in Central Europe and in the Middle East who can probably, between the 2 of you guys, find a nice comparable time to go ahead and set that up. We haven't forgotten about you guys. It's just a matter of getting enough people on who are raid worthy.
And just a quick update on the EU raids. That's almost good to go. I'm just missing either a couple healers, or if we get people to respec, then be either another tank and another deeps. So if we could fill those spots, EU would be ready to go.
Correct. Adebayo has on his list EU raids. If you guys, for you Aussies, can't make the EU raid time, let Adebayo know a better time that you can make it, and then he'll contact the EU guys and see if they can make that as well, and we will definitely get something worked out. Next question, Zest?
There's an issue with rating in general from someone about only raid leaders talking, people fooling around, people showing up late, just general guild raid etiquette was coming into question. So.
Okay, good point, and I have seen this firsthand. Guys, when we raid, it is to get the raid done and completed. And the reason why we set certain start times is because some people need to either go, before the end of the night, as in they only have a 3-hour time span, and we've just been lucky that a lot of these raids don't take that long. So being on time is incredibly crucial. But along with that is once you're in the raid, progressing through it quickly. Now, if you get to the point where you are clearing something no problem, and it's a relaxed atmosphere, then it is more acceptable to maybe talk a little bit over comms. But if the raid leader is informing people of the way something's going to be or how to do something, it is not the responsibility of any other member to comment or disagree with them. If you disagree with them, you send a private message to them over chat and let them know your idea, and then let them decide. And if for some reason you think that your raid leader is completely responsible for the failure of a group, well, then you can come to us and we can reassess the raid leader. But when we pick these people, it's because they have proven that they can play, and they're also very adamant and good about finding out how to beat content and how to make sure we achieve that. So with that being said, if a raid leader is talking, no one else needs to be talking. And if a raid leader says to clear the comms and you do not, that is a serious violation and you will be penalized.
All right. Next question was, in the two people kind of had similar questions on this. If you already have in level 50 alt, should somebody else have priority on their main over you or your alt for rating?
I'll let Databio comment on this a little bit too, but first and foremost is raid composition. If that alt unfortunately is a better choice for the raid to make sure it succeeds, then the alt is going to get priority, especially if the raid leader specifically asked this person to bring their alt. For instance, if they have 4 melee DPS already and he needs a range guy, he's not going to take a 5th melee DPS. Databio, would you like to comment on how you would handle the situation?
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's the raid composition. Is right now we're at the point where people have a few 50s, and in order for a raid to be successful, you have to have like all people in the party, and even though sometimes the raid composition leaves out a class, it's at a huge disadvantage to the raid because that's a lot of DPS and a lot of healing and a lot of bonuses that you're foregoing because you're not bringing along this class. So at this time, because of how our guild is formed and just the type of classes we do play, most of us are currently DPS members, and that's not strange by any means. In any MMO, DPS is usually the most popular classes to play. But right now, it's the people that have tanks and healers that fill the roles that I make them sign on their alts to play that will get priority because they are what makes the raid happen.
Thank you, Databio. And that should pretty much sum it up. If anyone has a specific issue, by all means contact Databio directly. He's very understanding. And or contact any officer. If you feel for some reason you are constantly being let out and somebody's alt is taking priority over you when their main is already fully geared, because it is nice having your alt geared, but we don't want to do it at the expense of segregating another useful member. Next question, Zess?
There was a similar question. It involved if, say, you have a DPS spec and you normally rate as DPS, can you sign up as a healer or some other support role and run that way?
Well, with the raids, especially if I know you're capable of running both specs. I will fill you in wherever you are necessary. If we have another healer and I know you can go DPS, I might make you go DPS that night. Just because it would make the raid go out. Like, it would make the raid happen.
Yeah, but if you don't have the gear for your said, second spec, then
Yeah.
the likeliness is lower
I
because
I,
it
I
takes
wouldn't
more
ask you.
greens.
I wouldn't ask you if you didn't have the gear or if you weren't capable of doing it.
Okay, thank you. Zest, next question.
We're starting to get into a few non-raid related questions, but I don't know if you want
As
to
long
save
as they're
those.
not PvP related, you can ask them.
When will we be able to have more alts in the guild?
You can have. Listen, as long as you guys play it, I have no problem bringing your alts into the guild. The reason why we put that alt policy into effect in the beginning is we didn't want the guild flooded with 200 members and then find out that one out of or rather 3 out of every 5 are level 2 alts that never get played. If you guys take your main to 50 and then you take your alt to 50 and you only use them for rating, let me know or let an officer know and we will bring your next alt in there, because we understand that it does suck trying to play without being in a guild and missing out on guild chat. Although TeamSpeak more than makes up for it, it's just handy to be in a guild. So right now we'll go with the rule that every time you hit 50 you can bring another alt into the guild.
Last non-PvP question. Someone was concerned about the forums being cluttered.
Who was that?
Mocap?
Mocap. Where's Mocap? Mocap, what, you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I just think really maybe some posts need to be deleted that have been there for a while. Just especially for rating specifically. When I go on there trying to figure out which post I'm even supposed to sign up for, and there's like 5 or 6 with the posts with raid lists and all that. So I think, I don't know if it's just me or if other people think this, but it's just the forums could use a bit of cleaning up so people are not as confused.
Can I add in on this one?
Yeah, absolutely, Daniel.
Well, after this meeting, I was gonna probably get more forum rights, and I know that right now the rating signups are very cluttered, and it's really hard to find out which is the current raid signup. And after I get moderation after this, there'll be a lot more order to that, so it'll be a lot easier to find.
Perfect. Thank you. And that should help you. We understand Mocap, and DataBio brought this up before. I told him just to wait until this weekend when he gets his privileges set up, and then he can go in and sticky what he wants to stick and remove what he doesn't need anymore. And when in doubt for any member, just send a PM to DataBio, and he can definitely lead you to the proper place to post for the week. Okay, with that being said, we are going to move into the final portion of the Star Wars section, and that will involve the Star Wars PvP. As everyone should be aware by now, we promoted Judas and Resh to in-game lieutenants, and they are our PvP leaders. Both of them showed extreme interest in PvP and also very good skill in it. And they're very motivated. For those who have not competed in their trials yet, you'll see that they have a nice layout set up where they grade you on different aspects. For everyone who has done it, you already know about that, so we won't repeat it. For those who have not yet done their trials with them, please make an effort to get with them and get a grade from them, because going forward we will be planning some more PvP Elite Warzone teams, and it's going to be just like raiding hard mode. We're only going to take the best of the best, so that when that group gets in there, every other guild on the Republic, or if we're playing Huffball against Empire, it gets their oh shit moment because they're about to lose again. What we'll do is we'll let Judas now talk about whatever he wants to regarding his plans for the future of PvP and Animosity in Star Wars.
Alright guys, it's pretty, simple, straightforward stuff. I had recently, for all you new members, welcome. If you're really an enthusiast, PvP enthusiast, I made a post for PvP tryout signups. Actually, I guess when Date or someone gets a chance to make that a sticky, just so it's right there and readily available, because I noticed it's like bumping down a little bit. But regardless, just sign up there, and let me know whenever times you have available for an evaluation. And for me, most likely I'll be free anytime you want. For Resh, it's a different story, so that's why we ask you to put the times down. Other than that, if you weren't here, we did PvP evaluations, and what we basically did was based it off of 5 main things we're looking for, such as like awareness, communication, responsiveness. It's all also on the forums. Maybe we'll have someone sticky that as well, so you know what you're looking for. Just recently, about at 7 o'clock Eastern time, so 40 minutes ago, I posted a PvP Warzone strategies and guide. So basically it helps you with all the war zones. And also there, what we're trying to do with the PvP, I think right now we have about 14 people that actually, were evaluated and wanted to sign up. And so what we basically did to prepare ourselves for the 8-man pre-mades is we set you into divisions. And, there's Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. And with those 3 divisions, we were able to come up with 4 teams, and they're also on that PvP Warzone strat and guide post. And what we did was we tried to make it the best, group possible. Comp-wise being tank, healer, 2 DPS. So all your PvP needs should be there. Your team's there. If you want to get evaluated, just sign up on that post that I had put previously. The strats are also obviously on that post that I just posted, PvP Warzone strategies and guides. And yeah, that's about it. What we're really trying to do is eventually, once the teams are get to know each other a lot better and get to know each other's play style, we're going to start intermingling teams so that we can have Team 1 and Team 2 working together, because eventually it's going to be 8-mans, and the top 2 teams are going to be grouped, and the next 2 teams are going to be grouped. So that's what we're going to try to have to do. And this is another thing, so people don't get scared or worried. Just because you're in Team 1 does not mean that you oh yeah, I'm Team 1, like I'm going to be here forever. No, if we see you slacking, you start falling off, not doing as well as you were, we're going to put you down a team or different division. And same goes for the people in a lower division. Sometimes, like right now, some of you don't have the best gear, so that affected your score and ultimately where you were placed. So if you get better and get better gear, and you bring up those scores that we sent you, essentially you could be in Team 1. So don't think, oh, this is my team for forever. That's it, like done. No, that's not how it is at all. We want to leave that openness for people to be able to want to be motivated and work their way up to essentially be on the 8, Team 1, Team 2.
Thank you, Judas. And like he said, he mentioned Team 1, Team 2, but you know what, guys? If we wind up having 16 people in this guild who are just amazing PvPers, who have learned their class and who have excelled at it, then we'll have teams 1 through 4. The sky's the limit on how many teams we have for PvP, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to, or rather what we do want to do is we want to get the best of our players together to optimize their chances at competing. In the next coming patches, they're supposedly introducing ladders. We don't know whether they'll be team-based or individual-based, but if we can get have 4 to 8 to 10 of our guys in a top 10 on the server, well then it just goes to show that our PvP leaders did a good job of assembling those teams and making sure we had the best of the best fighting on it. We're also, if you guys read the forum post, we're going to have some PvP ribbons. The first one is just a PvP specialist. To get that ribbon, what you need to do is you need to take the trial with Judas or Resh. Judas will go ahead and get me a list of everyone who's successfully completed those trials, and right off the bat you will be awarded that ribbon. The second ribbon is the PvP Veteran ribbon. Those are going to go to who Judas deems are the elite Animosity PvPers and who are going to be on these raid teams. And what they'll do is Judas will eventually schedule nights where throughout that entire night, these 8 people are constantly grouping together and just PvPing all night long. The final ribbon, being that we are PvP focused, is the PvP Elite ribbon, if you will. In order to get this, what needs to happen is you need to get nominated by a member of Animosity. You then need to get approval that you're worthy of it from either Judas or Resh, and then leadership must approve it to make sure that you're a good member of the guild. Because we try to emphasize, this guild is not just about a game; it's about being a good guild member. So those are, they're all cosmetic in nature, just something good to strive for to, show your dedication to the guild and how good of a player you are.
Another thing I'd like to add on behalf of Resh, he's not here. He couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he had some real-life family business to attend to. As of concerning World PvP, there is going to be a tournament, a one-on-one 2v2 tournament, and we were thinking of holding it in Voss in that temple there. You probably remember getting ganked there, leveling up. Because it's open area, it's very nice, just to have something there. So we're gonna try to, hold up events like that, just to keep everyone, on their toes, I guess, PvP where they're at, because that's when you really see, who's who is in duels, one-on-one, 2v2, whatever it may be. And also for World PvP, I would say that we would do World PvP other than tournaments, but as of right now, it's the only thing we've got is Ilum. If a lot of people are willing to do an Ilum raid, so to speak, then we would all have to agree on a time, and we could have just a Animosity specific raid for Ilum. I would be very willing to set that up. You just to show interest in that, and I will make sure to do it, and everyone can get their weekly done. We could set a day for everyone to log on at that time. I know it's difficult because we have Aussies here and European players. So
Again, thank you. And then one final thought before we go to questions on PvP. Just because you guys got a bad score, and Judas has told me there really wasn't anybody with a really bad score, but just because you got a lower score does not mean that you're not going to get to PvP with us. All that means is that now you have room to improve, and they should tell you what you need to focus on to make sure you improve. And then on nights when the elite teams are not going, well, that's a good night to find these team members on the elite team and to ask them to PvP with you and teach you some skills. And with that being said, it brings me to my next point. This is not an elitist guild, and if I find out that anyone who's put on these, although we call them elite teams for PvP, is being a dick to any member or telling me that this member's worthless, well, it's your job to help that member improve when it's not a PvP sanctioned night by Judas. Every other night is a night for training, a night for improving, a night for the guild to have fun. I don't care if you're the best PvPer in the guild, if you're ranked number 1 on a server. If I find this out, you're going to be kicked from the guild immediately. So just keep that in mind. This is not a place for elitists.
I'm sorry, I also forgot something. Okay, I totally forgot this. I'm very sorry. Okay, so I'm going to read out the teams for you, and whoever's present, you guys are responsible for picking a captain and lieutenant. And basically, the captain is going to be the main speaker, the shot caller, if you will. And then the lieutenant will basically back him up and, say what needs to be said if the captain is, elsewhere or dead, in spawn. So here's team 1. I know one of the members, or 2 of them, may not be here. Team 1 is Delrune, Resh, Judas, and Slippy. Team 2 is Tuzi, Date, Karasface, and Hertz. Team 3 is French Toast King, Skyrender, Deathus, and Chaos. And Team 4 is Sin, Caster, Valadorn, and Lazy. So if you guys could get together, maybe during the intermission, if there is going to be one for this meeting, or even, just on your own time, and select what times you would like to raid or PvP during the week so that you guys can get your practice in, or, I guess warming up for pre-mades. Essentially, these teams are obviously going to be your main team until everyone feels comfortable with each other and starts switching around, between group 1 and 2, and then like 3 and 4 are going to be switching around. So we'll probably do that for about, 2 or 3 weeks. and then after a month, we'll probably start to hopefully in March there will be pre-mades, so we can just put them all together, 8 and 8. So yeah, if you need me to read off the teams again, Team 1, Delrune, Resh, Judas, Slippy. Team 2, Chuzi, Date, Karis, Hertz. Team 3, French, Skyrender, Diathis, Chaos. 4, Sin, Caster, Baladorn, Lazy. So just, send me a PM or Resh on the forums or in game about when you guys decide on who's your captain, your lieutenant, and what times you guys are willing to raid during the week. And granted, it could be 2 days a week, could be 3, could be 4. There's no limit. Sky's the limit with this, guys. The more you guys practice together, the better you get. Essentially, we'll raise you up in your team ranking, your division ranking. So, the more you PvP, the better.
Thank you, Judas. And I saw what you posted, Div, about solo queuing, and that's not necessarily true. Like I said, I mean, Judas has 4 raids set up right now, but if you feel that there's 3 other people who complement each other well, let him know, and he'll set up a 5th team and give you guys the full cooperation that's needed to make sure you guys succeed. Of course, the other limiting factor is the number of people available to you. I mean, if we have an odd number of players, well, unfortunately, we can't make a full team with just 2 or 3 people. So just keep that in mind. This isn't to alienate anybody, and it's not to stop you from queuing with the rest of the guild. It's just to give the best chance, just like in hard mode raids, to the members that are excelling at that particular aspect of the game. At this
Also,
time,
I had some people asking me to post other members' ranks. I will do that because now it's pretty apparent that we base the team divisions on your ranking and obviously group comp. So I'll post those rankings up for everyone to see. I'll have to wait though for Resh's so that you don't see who said what, but you just see both of our scores. So I'll have Resh post that up actually because he dealt with those PMs to players.
thank you. Zest, let's go ahead with the first question, PvP related.
There's no questions.
Great. Does anybody have any questions? Send them to Zest right now.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
Anything coming in, Zest?
There's one. Was TZ thought about in team matching? That was from Skyrender.
What is
I
TZ?
don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
Time zone.
Time zone.
Time zone. Judas, was time zone thought about in team matching?
Unfortunately, it was not. If we thought about time zone, I could do that, but essentially it would hinder the effectiveness of each team. We tried to consider time zone, but
Hey, Judas, just to let you know, man, I don't have an issue with it. I'm just letting you know, like, the time zones that are different are probably going to play less together. As long as that's okay with you, man.
well, that's not necessarily true. I see you on a lot
Yes,
when
it is.
French is on, and well, it is true, but I mean, I see you on a lot with French and Sky, Diathis and Chaos, but I mean, if the time zone is a problem and you guys can't agree on a time, I guess I should have mentioned this. Just let us know and we'll try to rearrange the groups accordingly.
We should be alright. I'm pretty flexible. As long as work's allowing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyone
Like
else?
again, like we always say, it's based on accommodation and make sure everyone's having fun. If ever someone has a problem, this is not like a bad customer service line. We respond to issues almost immediately, and just let us know. We can't help anybody if we're not informed of what's going on, and we're not going to, if you let it build up into a big drama situation that explodes, we're not going to take the time to find out what went wrong. We're going to just make a decision on whether or not you're causing too much drama in the guild and need to be removed. So the best thing is, if you have an issue, bring it up sooner rather than later. Don't sit on it. And that brings me to the last portion of this meeting before we go.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
It was one more
just
question.
to address that. also, we asked you guys to send us a list of who you prefer to and not preferred to play with, so we tried to set it according to that as well. And that was it.
Zest, go ahead with the last question.
There was a question about having a custom team if you want to play with certain people.
I mean, yeah, essentially that's, you on your own time. It's like any other guildie. If you want to PvP with them just because they're not in a division or a team and they didn't sign up, doesn't mean you can't PvP with them. If they're all willing to PvP with you, then why not? It's like any other normal day PvPing with the guildies. This is just like set aside time for the, more serious hardcore people that really want to succeed in PvP and want to, it's like raiding, PvE. Like you have your PvE raids at set times and set nights, and then you have your PvP at set days or night or whatever time you guys agree on.
And to take that one step forward, Judas and Resh can't be in your groups with you when you're PvPing, so it is going to be the responsibility of every group member in each group to make sure they let Judas know how the group's doing, who might be hindering the group, and who is excelling far beyond your expectations, just to make sure that we have the right people in the right groups. Any other questions, Zest?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Yo, Judas,
so
you're gonna post those names up on the forums for the team? Just saying
that sounds like a question.
What's that? The teams? I already said that.
Yeah, no, I know. Just post them on the forums. It'd be easier.
It's already up. If you were listening to me, I know I talk a lot.
Did
and
you
maybe
put up
some
the
of it
score
goes over
too?
your head. I did not put up the score.
Okay, good.
Because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I will though, if a lot of people ask. No one really asked about that. So I mean, it's basically you look at your team and you see, that's like kind of what we did. I mean, some people were moved up because we needed a healer in this group, or we needed that deep kind of DPS in this group. But for the most part, your team is essentially the rank that you'll notice. If you're in the guild, you know who's who, so you know who's good and who's not, and you'll realize. And that's another thing why we did this, is because you'll realize in your group, if there are other people that aren't that great, you'll be like, oh wow, maybe I'm not that great too. Maybe that's why I was placed in this group. And then you'll be like, shit, I need to improve. And that's the whole goal, is to really improve in PvP, because you showed us that, okay, you care about PvP and you obviously do want to improve. So that's what we're doing here, to help you do that. Exactly.
Maybe we should see the top 8 or whatever, and then people can compare to them or whatever. Or and we should have like I offered my services in chat here, but yeah, definitely if you want to PvP and you think you can improve at it, the PvP in this game is amazing and it's fast paced and there's little to no bullshit. I'll say there is some bullshit because it's gonna happen in any PvP game, but yeah, be sure to come up we'll have some. I don't know. I guess you already said that shit.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to be reevaluated by Judas, just send him a PM on the forums or get with him in TeamSpeak and set up a time. Don't bother him every other day thinking that you improved in 2 days. Give it some time, give it some matches, and then go back to him so you're not wasting his time.
Yeah, if I notice that you come back to me like a day after and want to be reevaluated, or a week after, and you haven't improved, like that's just going to reflect poorly on you, and it's just going to show me that you don't really give a crap. You just want to get, you want to go in the better teams to be carried, and we're not really tolerable of that.
Any final questions, Zest?
Nothing on my radar.
Any final PvP related questions from the guild? Send them to Zest right now. We got 5 seconds. Anything?
Nothing.
Was that all the
Okay.
names was that all the names of the people that actually got rated for the PvP? Or
No.
is like some of them not on that list yet?
You know what? We don't need to talk about that here. You can get with Judas after the meeting, and he will tell you any intricacies you need to know about that. But for the time being, we have our 4 teams. Everyone else is eligible for it. You just have to show Judas you can PvP.
Here's the link to the post, by the way, for the teams in the Warzone. If Hollis, if you can make that a sticky, as well as the PvP sign up sticky, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Send that link in a PM.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? It's fine. I can click it here. I see. Okay. Just because it's already 8 o'clock, the final thing that I need to talk about is issues in the guild. Throughout this launch, we have had several issues, between members or members' thoughts on the guild as a whole. I need everyone to keep in mind that when you sign up, you agree to our COC and terms. And if you have a problem or an issue, the proper chain of command to deal with it is to PM an officer, unless it's regarding that officer, or unless you feel it requires more attention than an officer can provide, and then PM a guild leader. Do not take matters into your own hands unless you can remain civil. And if somebody is bothering you and you think you can't remain civil as long as they're here, then again, PM an officer or a guild leader, and don't try to handle things in your own way if it's going to get people into an argument or cause more problems. This is a zero drama guild, and as thus, we don't want to have to sign on to forums or sign on to TeamSpeak and find out that people are causing problems for other people, or making it a not a good place to be playing games with. Okay, so again, I'd like to thank everyone for attending the meeting. Right before we go, though, I'm going to give it off to each officer and let them say any final comments if they have any, and then we will conclude for the night. So we'll start with Blight.
Okay. You should all go to this website and download this game.
Kane, I don't know if Kane can talk. He's at work, I think.
I'm here, but no comments.
All right, thank you. Data Bio.
No, everything's great. Just keep reading and sign up.
Desi.
Nope.
Thank you. Iron.
Not just everyone stay up and go enjoy yourselves for tonight, and let's have everyone for EU raid tomorrow. Show up early, be there about 15 minutes, and hopefully we'll get some content cleared.
Congrats. Hopefully you can get some sleep now, Iron.
Fuck it, I gotta go to work in an hour's time, so it should be fun.
Oh, nice. Sorry to hear that. Red Star. I know you're sick, bud.
Yeah, sorry. Just thanks for coming to us in the meeting, and thanks for everyone coming out, and I hope you all apply for the Secret Beta, because it's a really good game, and you should all try it.
Thank you. Zevron?
Thanks for the opportunity to be an officer, and even though I can't be online in the game that much now during the time I'm working and moving to the other side of the world, I'm pretty much always on the forum, so just send me a PM if you need anything and I'll get on it.
Thank you. Zest.
Nothing here.
Alrighty. Judas, any final comments?
Nope. Everything's good here.
Alright, so again, thanks to everyone for coming out. We don't actually have any guild activities planned for right now, but I'm sure a vast majority are going to jump back into Star Wars Tour. So if you need your dailies done for anything, or some all play, just get with some guildies and have some fun. So thank you, everybody.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.